Now, isolation is becoming splendid again, not just for Donald Trump and his new doctrine of America first. Theresa May has also been drawing a line under foreign intervention to force regime change, saying there should be no more wars like Iraq. But sometimes the threat of international force can work, as our chief correspondent Alex Thompson reports.
Party on the streets of Banjul, the Gambian capital. All this just as Theresa May was gearing up to tear up the doctrine of intervention, regime change, thousands of miles away in the USA.
The days of Britain and America intervening in sovereign countries in an attempt to remake the world in our own image are over.
Well, could she be onto something? Here in Gambia this week, regime change all right, but peacefully done, locally done, and done with guns. 4,000 West African peacekeepers seeing off Gambia's brutal dictator without firing a shot. No need for European or American soldiers. Thank you very much. It's one example, of course, but would today's transatlantic alliance, today's NATO, really bomb the Serb fascists of yesteryear back to their own borders from Kosovo? Would Britain so readily invade Sierra Leone on the basis that its interests are threatened? May carefully left the door open to intervention to defend interests. But we are, after yesterday's dramatic U-turn, surely a long, long way from one Tony Blair forging in Kosovo what would become the Blair-Bush doctrine of intervention, regime change.
This is, I believe, a just war, based not on any territorial ambitions, but on good, decent values. We cannot let the evil of ethnic cleansing stand.
But the Prime Minister isn't the only one deleting British foreign policy. Just hours before in London, Boris Johnson had suddenly binned the UK's Syrian strategy, the Foreign Secretary saying, basically, it had failed.
I fully accept that the position in Syria has been catastrophic, and it's one of the great disasters of our time. And Lord Reid may disagree with this, but I think the British failures in that theatre can be traced back to that decision not to get involved in 2013. We did play ourselves out of the game.
Few would claim Britain has either been influential, effective, or even relevant in Syria. But asked if he could see President Bashar al-Assad standing in a post-war election, the Foreign Secretary said yes, and that, not surprisingly, incensed Syrian opposition groups.
Despite the fact Bashar al-Assad has used chemical weapons, more than 50% of the population have been displaced, and now Assad can run for re-election. I mean, what kind of democratic solution that would be?
The times, they are a-changing, and it's not just the new president. On both sides of the Atlantic, evidence, therefore, in the last 24 hours, that both administrations are intent on breaking with the past.